Hello, everybody. Today we're gonna talk a little bit in depth about what happens about harassment when you are working as a mental health professional. So we have Sanskriti right now with us. Again, I'm gonna say she's our right and eye. She's who created the whole USP for MHP, and she's our senior psychologist. And I am so happy to have her here. And now we have Heena ma'am as well. She is one of the most senior, she's the senior most psychologist you can ever have. She's the most experienced person out there, and I don't know how between all of us, she's the most energetic person out there as well. So I'm so happy to have you both here. Yes.
Hello.
So how's it going, you both?
It's going great. At least our Sundays have something to give up, these days.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sanskriti, I wanted to know a little bit more about harassment from colleagues and how is it different from harassment from clients?
Okay. So last time when we talked, those of who you joined last time, we were talking about client harassment then. So when clients blur the boundaries with your personal or professional boundaries, when they're harassing you, that is different. That is what we talked about last time. This time I want to talk about colleague harassment, which can include the power dynamics and workplace dynamics. Here they can spread rumors about you. They can undermine your credibility at work, uh, snide comments, or just belittling you, gossiping. These are all examples of colleague harassment. And this is a little easier to report than client harassment because you can just go to your HR and file a complaint. You can also seek help from your other colleagues, your friends in your workplace, and they can help you corroborate your story. But in client harassment, you have to think about the confidentiality. You have to have proper documentation for everything. Even in client colleague harassment, you also need to have some proof because HR will require you to have proof of everything. But yeah, this is how colleague harassment is a little different than client one. Um, but setting boundaries and just calling people out can help definitely. Uh, Akriti, I would like to also give an example of something that happened recently in India. So, in Delhi, a mental health professional was, dealing with colleague harassment, and she was a junior. So, the power dynamics also play a huge part in this. So, junior, senior. So the junior one tried to report a colleague, and after the reporting, she felt very isolated because the other colleagues in her office started to gang up on her, like, this is not fair. How can you report on your senior colleague? So this is also another important factor to consider, like your job security is at risk here, and you could lose your job, you can feel isolated. That's a problem. Yeah.
True, I think, that happens a lot in hospital settings as well. In fact,
Yeah.
so many startups out there, they're turning into corporates, and this is bound to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, Hina ma'am, do you have any questions?
I can't
Is Hina ma'am
see
there?
Hina ma'am here.
It looks like Hina ma'am has slept.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, Hina ma'am, do you have any questions for Sanskriti?
Yeah, actually, the way Sanskriti has explained all the things. Sorry, I was listening, but my internet was glitching. But see, it's totally different. Everything is different when we have received announce. How can I differentiate it in journal words? When we receive harassment from a client and when we receive a harassment from a colleague, two totally different scenarios. And to the client, at some extent, you can say things. Consent is there. You can exit them directly, and so, report or so. But to the colleagues, as I said last time, I have a list of the people, lay people who just follow the female therapist. I have a list of psychologists and psychiatrists, male specifically, who just follow female therapists and female psychiatrists. It goes same ways, and maybe vice versa. For some females follow only male professionals only. So the ideology, the thought process is totally different, and they don't even bother about the consequences also.
True.
Yeah.
Because क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है? We are in this service, we are here to serve them.
That's there. Okay, so Heena ma'am, what's your question to Sanskriti?
My question to Sanskriti regarding this scenario is that what if I know that you have faced that harassment thing in your in your sessions, and you are experienced in that, and luckily I'm not. But what are certain things which you want to tell the audience that there are many young therapists, females, which you are recently connected with, you as an intern and all. What you will tell them कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या precautions रखने चाहिए, and what are those things to keep in mind when you're sitting in front or maybe online on the other side of the screen with such people?
Uh, so we were talking about colleague harassment right now, right?
Yeah.
So if you're working at a mental health organization and you are facing harassment from your colleagues, be it if you're an intern or not, anyone. So you can definitely always go to your immediate supervisor, or you can talk to your other friends on the call, other colleagues, and they can corroborate your story and just go to the HR, report the behavior, and don't keep quiet. Don't get scared of you're losing your job or anything like that. Just always stand up for yourself. Keep like your professionalism aside and just focus
Yeah.
on your safety first. Yeah, definitely.
I will say this is just, I changed the question little bit, I know, but this is as an expert advice, because many girls in the morning I received 3-4 questions. I'm not lying here. They are asking that, okay, we have read Sanskriti ma'am's post on LinkedIn, and she has been experiencing that Aditya thing and so
Yeah.
many other things. You're quite
Yeah.
vocal about it, and they wanted to know it. That's why I put it out just like
Okay.
that. And
Okay.
thank you for giving this answer. I hope now they know what to do, even if they're intern at certain organization, because at our place we know how the founder is doing it for us and also for the interns also.
Yeah.
Similar way कि अगर आपको कुछ uncomfortable लग रहा है, even if it is a colleague, even if it is a fellow intern, even if it is anybody,
Yeah.
give it, we keep doing events, like we are again coming up with some events, and बहुत सारे लोगों से connect करते हैं हम, कितने सारे volunteers and all she handles alone. Like we are here, but the main person is there. So there comes the responsibility. There are also certain kind of colleagues now, when they're working together, doesn't matter. And harassment ऐसी जगह पे सबसे ज़्यादा होती है. And I'm really glad that Kriti handled. I have seen 3 events, like Dubai wala bhi I will include, and those ke baad I have been part of, and she has handled everything like so smoothly. बहुत सारी चीजें हुई, and she has gone up with like अगर आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है जल्दी मुझे रात को 2 बजे भी आप इन्फॉर्म करो, and she made sure कि सबकी safety and all, सब interns घर पे पहुंचे जो accommodation पे नहीं है हमारी, and all. This is also comes under giving safety, like what Sanskriti just said, and that is
My
so.
parents deserve the medal for handling the crazy
Yes,
part.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Sanskriti saw it the most because she was staying at my place, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
they do deserve
I
that
heard it.
medal.
I heard it.
See, events are gonna make you crazy. That's a given.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so Sanskriti, this brings me here. Thank you, Hina ma'am, first of all, for so many kind words. Sanskriti, this brings me to one of your very, very favorite topics of all time, being vicarious trauma.
Oh,
I think we all know that vicarious trauma exists. We all have experienced it at least once. And
Yeah.
we all think that, we'll be able to manage through it. Either we try to, forget about it, or try to just think that, we have to establish boundaries and that'll be just it. But as a practitioner, how do we deal with vicarious trauma in an effective way?
okay. So, like you said, it's my favorite topic because as therapists, we have different clients who come to us with very difficult stories where they have gone through so much trauma. And as we are equipped to deal with it, but what can happen is over time, it can lead to you experiencing trauma, like secondary trauma, through their stories, and which is very difficult to navigate as a psychologist. So, some symptoms of vicarious trauma can look like feeling helpless, uh, having nightmares about your client stories, being hyper vigilant, and compassion fatigue. So, if you're seeing 5 clients in a day and you had a client who's expressing their childhood trauma, the next session you have is in like 15 minutes. You haven't had time to, you know, deal with what the session was. And you literally feel like there's no words, where you feel very helpless. You feel there's nothing left in you to give of yourself in the next session. You are just sitting there and just still in the vicarious trauma from your previous client,
Having the flashbacks right now.
having flashback. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Something that you can do about this is you can have go through your own personal therapy. As therapists, it's the best if you are taking therapy yourself, so you can work through that. You can also go for supervision. We provide supervision at MHP, and we are always there for each other to help. Like if we had a very damning session, we just call each other, and we're there to support each other here. So we hope you have someone like that to obviously keeping confidentiality in mind. Don't forget that. But yeah, definitely seek support from supervision. And you also have trauma informed care courses that you can do to better equip yourself with how to handle trauma, because these can be very like over time if it accumulates. You can definitely, people feel like they're not ready for the field anymore. Like they feel that they're not a good psychologist, imposter syndrome kicks in, or they just deal with their own mental health issues. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, Sanskriti, honestly, I feel that therapy for therapists has always
Yeah.
been a good topic to talk about,
And we have
especially
been
because,
promoting that.
yeah,
Yeah.
see, especially because therapists are the ones who keep all the secrets, where the mean girls wala Gretchen,
Yeah.
all the secrets in our hair, and it's not just that we're doing it in the setting, the professional setting. It's just 1 hour there.
Yeah.
We're taking it home. We're spending at least 3 hours on everything. Reports, thinking about what techniques that we're gonna use, thinking about, sometimes we worry. We just simply worry.
Yeah.
And then there's so much on our shoulders. I feel therapy for therapists should always be there.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, now ma'am, you wanted to
Yeah.
ask a question.
Yeah. 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 I was so keen to ask this one. That Sanskriti, as you mentioned everything so nicely, na. I want to know that what are those strategies? तो जब आप डिफिकल्ट क्लाइंट के साथ डील कर रहे हो, बाउंड्रीज मेंटेन करना इज वेरी टफ. एंड कोई ऐसी स्ट्रेटजीज जो आप पर्सनली अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस के बाद यूज करते हो, एंड व्हाट आर दोज थिंग टू कीप इन माइंड, हाउ to protect your sanity in such environment when there is a difficult client sitting in front of you?
Yeah, so definitely just have professional boundaries in place. Like, this is what I deal with, this is what I don't deal with. Have a proper safety precautions at your place. Like a procedure to follow. Like, if this happens, what do you do? So I know that my go-to person is Akriti because she is the founder. So if something happens, she's the point of contact for me. I'll keep the call first. So protect yourself from immediate harm. Then you can tell your supervisor or your manager, anyone, that this happened. And then there is, so we were talking about colleague harassment. So the POSH Act in India uh, really helps you, supports you in dealing with colleague harassment. It doesn't really help you with client harassment as such, but colleague harassment, POSH Act will support you in that. So don't feel scared of calling out any such harassment behavior. Um if you have, if it's a corporate place, then you can go to HR and file a complaint. And if you are in private practice, so Hina ma'am, I think your question was specifically for that. So definitely, first off, have like security guards or someone, like
Hmm. Right.
don't meet your client at like very secluded places. So you
Hmm.
should have like a proper office with, where you can put your safety first. So
Exactly.
definitely, yeah, that.
Thank you so much, Sanskriti. These were wonderful tips. I think this will definitely help few of the young therapists coming ahead and join us today. And
Tanya, I had a question. Do we have legal provisions made for our field regarding the harassments and related case? Yes. As Sanskriti talked about, there's the POSH Act, and there are a couple of acts under the IPC, which I don't quite remember, but do follow our reels. We're doing a collaboration with one of the lawyers. Her username is Legal with Her, and we are targeting mental health and legality specifically. We are coming up with a big podcast as well to answer all kinds of queries. But do follow those as well. Uh, Talking with the whole MHP gives me a different level of vibe, full of positivity. Oh, trust me, it takes a lot of sleepless nights. Okay, so Sanskriti, the last question that I had in my mind was, as a therapist who is facing harassment,
Yeah.
and especially as a female, I think therapists or not, it's very difficult to prove such kind of
Yeah.
things. Either it's because of a power play, or it's just because the person is very careful about it. So when it's so hard to either confront such people who are very upper management, and it'll just result in something very messed up kind of a situation, or it's very hard to prove what to do in such kind of situations.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about, like, I wanted to talk about microaggressions today. So these are like very subtle forms of harassment, like snide comments, or just excluding you from conversations, or making inappropriate jokes, or just yeah, if you're like walking into a room and two of the colleagues are talking and you enter and they just stop talking. So these are some microaggressions. These can be hard to identify, and they are also, like, it might not be intentional, might be unintentional, but they do make you feel bad, and it is a form of harassment. So these can be a little hard to prove because they could be said that, you're just being oversensitive. It's not really harassment, can be a little subjective. So in these cases, definitely get someone else to corroborate your story. Talk to your friends, make like if your supervisor is the one who's you know making you go through this, then you and with the help and support of your other colleagues can call out the behavior. If it's a superior a senior colleague, then don't be scared of the power dynamics. It's just what it is. You'll never be, it's your workplace will just become toxic if you don't call out. So if it's even if it is a little hard to prove, just make sure that you have some proof or someone as a witness maybe, and yeah, and definitely report it, or have, like, if it's happening online, then have screenshots, have something written, and yeah, that can help.
Great.
Also, assertive communication. So stand up for yourself, and yeah, so we have a workshop coming up on Saturday, 19th, on workplace dynamics and group dynamics. And Akriti, Heena ma'am, you guys are the facilitators, so if you want to tell the audience about that.
Okay, so I'll start with a very small brief about how it came to the picture. We wanted to hold up a training for our own team, and obviously we do not charge people for such trainings. And once Hina ma'am and I started to talk about these things and started to understand how professionalism isn't anything that is taught to people here, or something that doesn't come very easily to people. Like, I remember I've seen outside bachelor students even who are at the utmost level of professionalism. They would, if they're given a deadline, they follow that deadline with their heart and soul, because having a part-time job or having an internship means a lot to people. Here it's a very different scenario, and then at workplaces it's again a very messed up situation. And harassments, microaggressions, they're a very small part of such things. So oh yeah, definitely we both haven't stayed up late with you talking about these things, which is why we came up with this kind of a workshop where we are gonna talk about leadership skills. We are gonna help you inculcate those kind of skills. We're gonna talk about working in a team. Working individually and working in a team is very different. Uh, you might be comfortable with one topic, speaking about it, but in a team you have to understand that, uh, A, B, C. These are three people and they are all comfortable with the same topic. Then how to divide it and how to make it fair and equal, and how to not put everything on the other person. And then time management, management as a whole. For example, you're a project manager or a project head given by your boss. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to delegate tasks? At the end of the day, delegation is how things work. You can't take everything on your head. So this is pretty much how things were going, and we wanted you guys also to enroll for it. DM us, do let us know if you want to sign up for it. We'll send you the registration form. It's not very expensive. कुछ महंगा नहीं है guys, 400 रुपए का है. ये 100 रुपए वाली workshops तो हम नहीं बेचेंगे. देखो, it's not gonna be that same कि 100 की 10 ले लो.
Go offers for workshops. Buy 4 get 8 free.
Not like that, but I think $500 is something that you can invest for so many things. And as for your resources, of course, we're going to give you amazing kind of resources. The resources are not just going to be about the worksheets or something here or there. We're going to be sending you amazing surprises in the resources, and very important topics as well. All right, we have to call ma'am back because it's her time to shine. Okay, I've invited her again. But in the meantime, Sanskriti, do you have any questions for me today?
Oh, I have lots of questions for you. So we were talking about client and colleague harassment. So you are gonna be covering what today?
Mostly, how clients use manipulations, how, and also the high profile ones, because I've dealt with Arab clients, I've dealt with Sobo and South Delhi people, I've dealt with even people from US and क्या कहते हैं, UK. So it was all a part of supervision as well as now my practice. And even when we talk about psycho-oncology being my prime one in the supervision, love Dr. Melanie. She's taught me so much. But at that point of time, the worries were not about is the treatment gonna go ahead or not, or like, can I even afford it? The worries were about which wig should I buy? Would it even suit me? Which insurance is the best that can cover me, my children, everybody, this and that. Money is no doubt for them, money is no worry for them.
Yeah.
The worry is the actual emotions, the strength, the bond, the family that is needed. So dealing with middle class and upper middle class, they're both very, very different. Upper middle and high profile and elite, they go in a very different direction altogether. So what started with my thing was how clients use emotional manipulation to create a toxic dynamic between the client and the therapist. So I think the first thing that they use is they would try to get a lot of sympathy. So, once a client, I usually make that joke. So, seeking sympathy and everything. So, they just come and say, you're the client. The client is coming and saying, can I pay by card? I was like, which kind? The client said, the victim card. So playing the victim card is the biggest thing that can create a lot of issues during therapy. And we're therapists and we're not gods. We're not mind readers all the time. Sometimes, yes, we do understand that this is a manipulation technique, but a lot of times I think it is very difficult to differentiate where it is sympathy and where it is empathy, where we have to put a stop to that victim mentality after a while. And then what they try to do is they try to shift responsibility. They play the blame game. Anything and everything that's wrong in their life is because of the therapist. Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's so many times you said I didn't have to break up with him, so it's your fault that I'm sad. I could have just gone back to him and we would have fought and got back together. It's a very simple situation. So it's your fault that I'm sad. It's your fault that I'm single forever. Such things. Then they also tend to create a lot of dependence. Like uh, there was a client of mine who used to text me at odd hours. Now, number one, I understand that you're not in India right now. You're somewhere outside. But you have to understand that there are certain timings, 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. are not there. So at text me, and the client kept on saying that it is a crisis, it is a crisis for the longest time, until I had to draw that boundary that no, you know what? I've given you certain techniques and you ought to use them. You can't text me every time. And therapy is not about text. You have to, at the end of the day, make use of those things.
Yeah.
They would text your boundaries a lot, a lot. Uh, I think last week I saw this one particular reel where this lady showed that as a newbie therapist, if a client comes and gives you a gift, you would say, "I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to receive such gifts.
Yeah.
We have a professional relationship." But a very, very experienced therapist would graciously accept the gifts and say that, oh my God, thank you so much. How are you? This and that. So I feel that no, once you start doing that, the client will always forget that you're the therapist. The client will start thinking that you are the friend. So I'm
Yes.
sorry, the experienced psychologist. You're going about the wrong way right now. They would try to emotionally blackmail you. They would guilt trip you into things. They would gaslight also a lot. I don't know why gaslight is a word. First of all, it shouldn't exist. The whole idea shouldn't exist. I mean, it's the most dumb ideology, or like the thing that the one who's trying to help you, the one you're paying to help you, you're trying to make them feel that they're the crazy one.
Yeah.
Um, I think, yeah, it's just mostly emotional withholding and things like that, which make a very, very toxic environment.
Okay.
So yeah,
Akriti, what are some challenges that arise when you navigate power imbalances with high-profile clients or influential clients? Or
Oh,
how can you maintain your ethical boundaries in such situations?
oh God, I think I wouldn't say it's a nightmare because that's most of my income. I don't have to sit with 10 clients at a time. It's 3 clients, I'm done for the month. But see, the first thing that comes to my mind is that they perceive that they hold a greater knowledge, a greater authority, and a greater wisdom. They try to undermine our professional authority as a whole. And another issue that I have faced is that they would mostly want the privacy to be at the utmost level. Like it's. I mean, I cannot repeat it enough that it is confidential. It is
Yeah.
informed consent, and yet they would still go by pseudonyms. They would go with fake age, fake names. So much of the fake things going on, and a lot of security. Like I have dealt with a few clients where I had to literally buzz the bodyguards off. So that's another issue because the client will sit there like, I need the bodyguard to go off. The bodyguard would sit there like, I can't leave this person here in your vicinity. What if the person's in unsafe, this and that. So I think that's a whole new world going on. It feels like a Bollywood movie.
you have
uh,
experienced it so well. Yeah. So one more question I have, that how can therapists recognize and manage emotional manipulation from such clients? And because when they are so toxic in that scenario, how to deal with such things? Tell us.
uh, I would say that sometimes creating boundaries does not work, no matter how much you do it. But you kind of have to understand where they're coming from, and you have to be open to adaptability, to flexibility, and to adjust at the end of the day. Because, for example, there are a few clients where I had to deal with the fact that I could be publicly demeaned at one point. There is a big thing. That is the level of confidentiality we have to keep.
Yeah.
मेरी तरफ से कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी अग्रीमेंट गया है नहीं गया, मैंने एनडीए साइन करा है साथ में उसके. So this is the kind of level that goes on, and we have to understand these things. A therapist is not required to sign NDAs as such,
Exactly.
but I understand where they are coming from, and just to make them safe and secure, even if I hadn't signed that NDA, I wouldn't be telling the name, I wouldn't be telling what is going on, who is it,
Hmm.
or whatever the details are. But these are some things. Apart from that, I think we have to make them realize somehow. I think talk therapy works a lot, where they come to realize that the client control has to be autonomous, yes, but also regulated.
Mm.
Regulated by the therapist. At some point, they have to understand that they can't do all the talking all the time. They have to learn to listen also. And with high profile clients, it's very difficult to make them listen because their only solution towards good mental health or uh, going towards, a certain happier point is success and money.
Yeah.
I totally
So
agree with you on this.
oh god, this is like yesterday only I had this client who kept on fighting with me in the therapy session that no, you are wrong. I think the way I would move on from this breakup is by making work my life. And I said, no, 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 no. That is not work-life balance. That is just work balance. Where is the life in it?
True.
He's like, no, make work your life and then there is work-life balance. So for the longest time, I asked him that, how are you gonna go about it? He said that, you know what? I think I'll just forget about her, or like at least move past this breakup if I move on to creating a higher status for myself, a higher success for myself, this and that. And I just sat there 2 minutes thinking, ki, band karo ise. That happens, a lot of
Yeah.
times with clients when you get fed up. But that's about it. I think boundaries are there, but you have to be a little flexible with such clients. And also be very assertive in the sweetest manner you can. A mix and match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Uh, so there was another topic that I was supposed to discuss today that was about handling harassment that originates from family members. Although I was supposed to address it, I would like Heena ma'am to address it because she's the one who has like a whole family. For Sanskriti and me, we just have like the maternal paternal families, not the families that we have started on our own. You're the mother here. There's
I'm the
this
mother,
mother
I
of
think,
dogs.
on. Yeah, I know. I'm mother of everyone I'm connecting through this platform.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
So,
how would you go about it?
see, harassment at family settings, if we talk about it in journal, it happens to the next level. And if someone says, like Akriti introduced this thing to me, that they only have maternal and paternal aspects to deal with, but I have, I am a mother, I have in-laws, I have extended families and all, but it happens at mother, father, with that also. Because many a times, recently I have, day before yesterday, I have a client who is feeling toxic environment at home because the mother is harassing them, everyone at home. And I have discussed it in my supervision session also. And this thing is like, yes, and harassment is of next level. Like, if you're sitting and doing your work, like we are working now, and that lady don't let you do any work if you are at home. So this is a kind of harassment coming from a mother. And being a mother, I can tell you, no normal state of mind mother will do that, right? And फैमिली सेटिंग harassment और दूसरी तरह से बहुत सारी होती हैं. Like if you talk about in-laws part and partners के एंगल से, like they will say, okay, how you have to live in a certain manner, what you have to do in your life, how you have to pursue your personal agenda, like अभी baby करना है कि नहीं करना है, that is also a harassment, through other sources. दे विल टारगेट यू कि ओके अभी ये करना है, अभी आपको ये करना बड़ा जरूरी है. अरे भाई 25 के हो गए, बोल दिया शादी कर लो, ये भी एक ठीक है, हमारे टाइम पे होता था. अभी इट्स नॉट अ सिनेरियो. हाँ, आई नो. I'll talk to her later.
अभी हुई हूँ
I'll
25
talk to your
की.
mother. But that is also harassment, Akriti,
My
when
question
somebody
was
want to study.
slightly different.
Yeah, tell
I want
me.
to talk about clients that are dealing with harassment. That is, I think, another set. But for now,
Sorry,
since we're
my
focusing
internet was
on
glitching.
see, today we're focusing on mental health practitioners. So
Yeah.
when the harassment comes from client's family, How do you deal with
अच्छा,
it?
okay, sorry, I totally missed it. फैमिली में रहने का देख लो. Sorry guys. Yeah. So see, I have experienced that, Akriti. If I say I have experienced that, I have never experienced harassment from the clients directly, but उनके family से. Like, if I don't know if I have mentioned you guys that there was a girl client from Delhi itself, and she was suicidal, and she got some bad experiences with 2 3 therapists, and she contacted me immediately when she was rushing towards home, and she said, ma'am, I will not go home, I'm going to die, and ऐसे ऐसे हो रहा है मेरे साथ. I told her, give me another number of your father or mother, any family member, so that I can talk to them and make your safety assured. But what happened is when I talked to her father, the father was like, आप लोगों ने ही जिंदगी खराब कर रखी है मेरे बच्चों की, और पहले एक डिप्रेशन में था, अब ये थेरेपी ले रही है, 3 थेरेपिस्ट के साथ सेशंस ले चुकी है, ये हो रहा है वो हो रहा है. एंड मैंने, संस्कृति, यू वोंट बिलीव, मैंने उस क्लाइंट को सेशन भी नहीं दिया, डिस्कवरी कॉल थी. आई वाज सो वरिड, एंड देन आई वाज लाइक, मुझे उनकी बात आधा घंटा सुननी पड़ी. एंड दैट काइंड ऑफ हैरासमेंट आई नेवर डेल्ट विद इन माय लाइफ. दैट जो उन्होंने सुनाई है मुझे, मतलब जोर शोर से, कि आप लोग कुछ भी नहीं हो, बस ऐसे बातें करके मेरे बच्चों से ये वो. बट दैट काइंड ऑफ हरासमेंट गिव यू सर्टेन गूज बम्प्स की, अच्छा अब मुझे ऐसे क्लाइंट्स के साथ डील करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए. दिस गिव यू सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ डाउट्स अबाउट योर सेल्फ. थेरेपिस्ट जो अपने काम में बड़ा अच्छा है, उसको लगता है कि दैट पर्सन इज डूइंग वेरी गुड विद सच काइंड ऑफ पॉपुलेशन एंड ऑल. Suddenly something like that pops up and सारा confidence shattered. Then you have to rush to your supervisor, then you have to rush to your skills कि अरे भैया मैंने क्या गलत कर दिया, what I have done wrong. Other than that, there is one more experience I want to share here, because that was a couple therapy thing. Okay, the husband contact me because
The most
the
draining
husband
part.
contact me, yeah, because of men's mental health initiative, and he said कि मैम आपका ये देखा तो मुझे लगा मैं आपसे बात कर सकता हूँ. I said okay, yes, हमने confirm किया session. He talked to me उसके issues and all, and then he explained about the couple thing कि जो चल रहा है and वो क्यों चल रहा है, the family thing. And then he said कि मैम पहले मैं अपनी wife को लाऊंगा, and then you have to give us family therapy. I tried family therapy for the first time in my life, and I can't tell you, जो उसकी मम्मी ने मुझे झाड़ा है, जो मुझे सुनाया, मेरी सासू माँ ने आज तक कभी नहीं बोला मेरे साथ ऐसे. द टॉर्चर आई झेलो देयर, मतलब आई कांट टेल यू, 5 people were there on the screen in front of me, and that lady was सारा सब कुछ. That harassment was like, she used abusive words also, and I never shared it with anyone. She literally abused me.
That happens
Yeah.
during sex.
And I cried that day, Akriti. I cried that day.
Yeah.
That what happened with that girl जो वहां रह रही है. अगर आप ऐसे हो तो कि आप एक प्रोफेशनल को नहीं छोड़ रहे हो.
That also reminds me one of the sessions I had with my supervisor, Dr. Melanie. Being in Dubai, I think that was the biggest international exposure I got. So, एक lady थी, she was from US, and that proper US accent, that blonde one.
Yeah.
So she got cancer, she got breast cancer, and somehow the parents were also there, and oh my god, the mother was a nightmare. I don't know how Dr. Melanie was so calm during the whole situation, that pretty much she taught me how to do it. But at the same time, the mother started abusing me about and criticizing me about how my techniques are so bad, so useless. And at one point she started screaming at me saying, you know what, you can't even take away my daughter's cancer, what good are you? And I was just like, I am a therapist, ma'am, I'm not an oncologist, I'm a psychologist.
How we are supposed to?
I had to control that laughter. I had to control so much because I was like, what? I was a kid.
Yeah.
But those words are so shattering to your mind, thinking that, you know what, I have been following psychology since 8th class, and whatever is just a big, massive waste of time. But then when she said you can't take away her cancer, I got back in my zone. I was like, okay, shut up.
Yeah,
This
you
is
have
not
to,
my-
na, you have to get away with this thing. And many a times I just recalled one of my experience which I have shared in my series also. When जब हम gender identity की बात करते हैं, when we talk about anything with people, क्योंकि हम लोग बात करते हैं रोज सारा दिन हम यही करते हैं, every day we are doing this, so we can't control. And I always take my baby to the park, and there when I see na some girls are playing and कोई बॉय उनको ज्वाइन करता है तो मदर उसको थप्पड़ लगा रही है, डांट रही है. बहुत बार रोका है यार, बहुत बार रोका. एंड आई कुडंट कंट्रोल. एक बार मैंने बोल दिया, अभी लास्ट वीक की बात है. आई जस्ट टोल्ड हर कि आप ऐसे क्या कर रहे हो कि आपको लगता है किचन सेट से खेलने से आपका बच्चा, आपका लड़का कम मैनली हो जाएगा, या फिर सारी उसमें मैस्कुलिनिटी अभी भर गई है, जो आप एकदम से इससे खेलेगा तो आपको लगता है कि वो निकल जाएगी उसके अंदर से. सो आई वॉज जस्ट ट्राइंग टू टेल हर, साइको एडुकेट हर लिटिल बिट, कि भैया उसको हर चीज से खेलने दो, ओके क्रिकेट भी खेले एंड दिस. बट देन शी सेड, अच्छा मैडम ठीक है, आप होंगी साइकोलॉजिस्ट, ज्ञान मत दो हमें, ठीक है.
तो उसको
Yes,
देखा.
yes, yes. She said ज्ञान मत दो हमें. एंड she said कि मैं आपके पास आने वाली थी, पड़ोस में ही है, मतलब कॉलोनी में आने वाली थी, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा इश्यूज के लिए, बट नाउ आई थिंक नहीं जाना मुझे साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास. एंड देन शी केम टू मी ऑनलाइन, ऑफलाइन नहीं आए, ऑनलाइन आए, सामने से बात नहीं हुई, ऑनलाइन शी कनेक्टेड कि सॉरी मैम ऐसा हुआ ये वो. एंड नाउ वो डिप्रेशन की पेशेंट है and never got treated, undiagnosed depression symptoms and all. Now I connected her with a psychiatrist, और now she she is thanking कि मैं बहुत टॉक्सिक थी, मैंने आपके साथ 2 हफ्ते पहले ऐसे बात की और आप मेरी कितनी हेल्प कर रहे हो, आपने मेरे को यहाँ भेजा ये वो. आई सेड कि यू लिटरली हरास्ड मी, 4 लोगों के सामने यू सेड कि आप लोग भाषण देते हो, यूजलेस हो, ये हो. भैया मैं पागल नहीं हूँ, 20-22 साल से साइकोलॉजी पढ़ के बैठी हूँ यहाँ पे. मैं ओवर यूज नहीं कर रही थी, बस आपको मैंने कई बार देखा है तो मैंने एक बार सोचा कि बता दूं, बिकॉज हमारे बच्चे भी खेलते हैं उनके बच्चों के साथ, तो एक इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. राइट. एंड फैमिली सेटिंग्स की जब बात करते हैं तो हमें ये रहता है ना, मुझे पता है यहाँ पे तो आई कैन मेक श्योर दैट माई मदर, माई सिस्टर इन लॉ विल नॉट डू सच थिंग्स. दे डोंट से कि अच्छा पिंक मत लो, ब्लू लो, क्योंकि दोनों बॉयज हैं, ब्लू लो, ऐसे करो वैसे करो. हमारे घर में ऐसा नहीं है, बट बाहर वी कांट कंट्रोल. राइट. फैमिली सेटिंग्स में जैसा चलता है, बट एट सर्टन टाइम्स एज अ थेरेपिस्ट, एज अ मेंटल हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल निकल आता है. एंड देन यू हैव टू झेलो द हैरासमेंट एट नेक्स्ट लेवल, जैसे आकृति ने बोला, यू कांट एंड यू हैव टू गेट अवे विद इट. You have to. There is no, I think there is some question or something in the comments.
I kept reading the अभी एकदम लास्ट में हम will address everything. So Heena ma'am, you actually remind me of one of the internships I did under shit, I forgot, Dr. Shivastava, Ashima ma'am.
Okay.
So she's a child psychologist. उनका she works at 4 places. So she works in Max Hospital IP Extension and Max Hospital Noida, and then she and her husband is Dr. Shivastava. He's a psychiatrist. So they work together for internships and everything. They have one clinic called Reconnect Clinic in Surajmal Vihar and one in Noida itself. So we used to have 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. का एक तो internships, 0 breaks. And since Ashima ma'am is a psychologist, ना मैम को टाइम मिलता था खाना खाने का, ना it was very simple. सुबह से लेके क्लाइंट पे क्लाइंट. तो once the mother was telling that उसको सुधारने के लिए मुझे चांटा मारना पड़ता है, this and that, and that's when I learned that no matter how hard it is for you to accept it, माना, हम पिट के सुधर गए थे. I'm very very thankful to my parents about it. I keep saying it, but you have to be firm and you have to tell them on the spot कि चांटा नहीं मारना है, no matter what. थप्पड़ नहीं मारोगे, बच्चे को नहीं मारोगे. And then what you were saying that the pink and blue or male versus female, this and that, doesn't matter. Even if the child's gay, What are you gonna do about it? कोई दवाई नहीं आती इस चीज की. It's their identity.
Right.
You gotta accept it.
Accept it. Yes.
Okay.
And even if they play with certain kind of toys, that doesn't make them less of any particular gender.
Exactly.
Let them grow. Let them be. Let them, explore their own sexuality slowly. उनको पता चलेगा, उनको समझ आएगी तो अपने आप करेंगे
You know,
चीजें.
as a kid, like I was so small, I think 8th or 9th, जब LGBTQ ऐसे out there नहीं था. It was a taboo in our country, and I was one of the shikar of the taboo. So, naya my Rottweiler came home, and somehow he used to prefer the pink bowl for drinking water instead of the blue bowl. Oh God! For a whole year, I used to call him gay.
Yeah, I heard about this thing. My cousin lives in US, and unke husband, when he was wearing pink t-shirt and all years ago, like more than 13-14 years ago, and he was like कि everybody is looking at me like I am gay. ऐसे घूरते हैं लोग कि you can't do anything.
I now believe that my doggo could be, pretty in pink. Yes. Okay, so I'll be addressing the last part of my end, and then Heena ma'am has a very, very, very important section to address. My part to address was how gender expectations can influence harassment in therapy settings. Okay, everybody take a deep breath. We can all contribute in it. We have all faced this at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start by saying that there is a male versus female authority that comes in the picture. Female therapists would experience a little more resistance from male clients. Male clients would love to establish their authority. The male clients would feel that, females are easier to harass. Females are easier to victimize. And unfortunately, if females don't speak up, it's gonna be that scenario. If you want to feel empowered, if you want to feel equal, you gotta make it like that. This is the most I've learned out of everything. There is sexual harassment going on, we all know that, and something that comes in picture as you as a therapist also are maternal and paternal expectations as well. Now I'm gonna keep it very, very fair for everybody. I want to keep it like equality. So maternal and paternal expectations from males and females are very, very different. If Yudhajit ever joined, thank you for that one podcast we discussed. I'm gonna bring out the same point. Males are supposed to be the breadwinners, yeah. The expectation comes within for them. So the gendered expectations would kind of clash with your own practice, and that might be one of your weak points that allow you to be even give that option to be harassed at the weak point. I'm not saying that you can't have weak points or weaknesses or vulnerabilities, but understand that these are your personal things. You can present it to your therapist, you present it to your loved ones, but not your clients.
Yeah.
As for females, I think the most expectation lies in two ends. Either there are parents like mine who have the single child, and they say that, you know what, you gotta be financially very, very independent, because there's no way any rishtadar in the world is gonna take care of you lifelong, especially financially. So that is one point where they expect a lot, that you have to be a scholar, you have to be a nerd, you have to beat the prodigy child in the house, this and that. Whereas there are certain parents where they think that, तू कर ले पढ़ाई जितनी देर करनी है, उसके बाद तो शादी ही होनी है, कितनी डिग्रियां ले लेगी, ले तू PhD भी ले ले, उसके बाद तो शादी ही होनी है. And then they pressurize them to have children, this and that. So harassment can not just come from clients, it can come from home, which can present in your therapeutic practice. When you know that there is a dead end, you're supposed to, you know, just do it for the supervision or the internship for a small while and there's no future in it. You stop believing in yourself, you stop believing in the practice that you do, and you end up giving third class advice. This is the rawest form I could say it. I've seen it happen with a lot of people, and I would say it should not be there. You fight for yourself. I know I did. My dad wanted me to be a pilot. There is another thing that comes for females is that they underestimate our expertise.
Yeah.
Oh God. The amount of times I went to an investor and he has not even listened to me because I'm a female. And whereas if I just keep a 5-year-old beside me who's just a male, they'd be happily, readily listening to me just by the presence of a 5-year-old man. It's so much undermining everywhere, be it at the position of a boss or as a therapist. The male clients would go on and on and on, thinking that, you know, you're just females, you're supposed to be too empathetic, you're just only about emotions, you can't be practical. And if by chance we are practical, they're gonna end up calling us very, you know, cold stoned and cold hearted people who won't even think about our families, our loved ones. So there is no in between for us at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Then it's about overprotecting behaviors. I have been in such a situation where there was a male and I was so scared that, you know, what if it ends up in one of the situations we don't want it to end up in. And my own overprotecting behavior started to put out that, you know, I'm going to be very limited in this kind of a situation. Maybe I could have helped that person. Maybe that person was not going to harass me, just wanted to, you know, get therapy in sexual life or sexual problems. But again, not my forte. Second, I don't think I can ever get that as a forte. It's very difficult for me to be in that situation or even learn about it in a practical way.
Yeah.
Theoretically, yes, I know all the techniques, but that comes within. I also portrayed overprotective behaviors in that point, and there's one more thing that comes is gendered manipulation. So sorry. Gendered manipulation is somewhere where, you know, there is a very subtle form of harassment going on between females and males in your office. Say you're in a hospital setting and your supervisor is a male and you're a female. At that point of time, there's gonna be a lot of issues. And after that, if your supervisor is a female and you're a male, I think the female would end up giving the females more attention than the males, thereby undermining them. And the final thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that emotional expressions are very challenging as a whole. So for females, I think it comes a tad bit easier to show emotional expressions during therapy, because sometimes you gotta let your client know that you're listening, that, you know, you empathize with them, and that comes with your expressions. You don't have to cry with them, but if they're feeling sad, you can't be smiling at them. So it's a little difficult for males because a lot of male therapists I've seen, they tend to stay very neutral to these things. They would neither smile, neither be sad, and that is a safe place to be in.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. But that also sometimes makes the client feel that, you know what, they're just not listening to me, or they don't care as such. They just care about giving me medicines, or they just care about the money mostly. So this is what I had in my mind. Let's see if Heena ma'am is back with us. Heena ma'am is not able to join us today. So I think we should end the live. We've been sitting here since 1 hour and I don't know where time flew away. It Like we've been here for like half an hour or something, but we'll definitely take Heena ma'am's section next live next Sunday
Yeah.
2 p.m. Do DM us if you want to go through what.
The
There's so much in my
workshop.
mind. Yeah, for the workshop, please do DM us and let us know. 400 is sorry, 499 is not a lot, guys. Again, हम 100 की 10 नहीं बेच रहे हैं, 4 भी नहीं बेच रहे
Guys, my internet is not allowing me.
and that is going to give you a lot of insights into workplace dynamics, group dynamics, leadership, and then how to manage time, how to manage the groups, how to just lead. Even if you're just a therapist and you work in a hospital or a private practice, you gotta lead people. So Hina ma'am, since we're over time today, we're gonna take your section definitely
Next time.
section. हाँ, और आपका वाईफाई
Yeah.
ठीक करवा के
हाँ, next Sunday we are gonna come every Sunday. We'll cover up it. So
Yeah.
many other things
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
definitely.
And please do join our workshop which Akriti was mentioning, and you'll see both of us there, and there is a lot we have planned, lot of fun activities, lot of learning, like the USP of MHP. What we do, we don't rote learning anything. We do practical implications with activities and fun and lots of Sanskriti is getting some insights.
And
Let us keep it there.
A lot of
Yeah.
FOMO, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's coming soon, so yeah,
Guys,
we want to see you there.
say that you can't do practical without theory. So theory is important at the end of the day, but
Yeah.
practical same important on the same level. So we cover both and we try to make it to the point with the theory. हमें नहीं चाहिए कि ऐसे स्टोरीज घुमाओ और बोलते रहो और हम पीपीटी वाला काम नहीं करते. सॉरी
पीपीटी बनाते ही नहीं.
अगर हमने बना ली तो उसमें मैक्सिमम हमने सिर्फ टॉपिक्स लिखे होते हैं या गेम्स के नाम लिखे होते हैं. We know our stuff too well, so
Yeah.
we don't need the PPTs to tell these kind of things. And we've planned a very, very fun learning kind of a workshop for you guys and amazing kind of resources. So please do sign up for that. DM us to get the link.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody has mentioned that they are also getting harassed. Okay, I would suggest leave us a DM. This is the official
Yeah.
page of MHP. Just leave us a DM. I'll help you out as to how to book a session. If you want to book a session with me, Sanskriti or Heena, please let me know pre-hand. I'll tell you how to go about it. We can book it, and we would love to help you out in this, and we would love for you to stand up, to empower yourself and get out of it as soon as you can and probably heal.
Yes.
So great
All right.
initiative, MHP. Looking forward to more such addressing issues. Definitely every Sunday 2 p.m. we're gonna be here. So thank you all. Love you all. Thank you, Sanskriti. Thank you, Heena ma'am. Thank you, me. Now
We thank you.
We
I'm not
thank
gonna
you.
be available
Formally.
for some time. I gotta go buy my new pup today.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Chalo. See
Okay,
you
thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.